This is Life Transformation Radio. Prepare to engage. Seatbelt activated. Download initiated. Your quantum journey of transformation begins in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Life Transformation Radio. Hi, I'm Rob Actis, best-selling author of The Law of Action, voice actor, business mindset coach, the podcast whisperer, and Mr. Action himself. Life Transformation Radio is heard in over 90 countries. Thank you for joining us from all around the world. Whether it's your first time joining us or you've been listening to Life Transformation Radio for some time, I want to personally thank you. Here at Life Transformation Radio, we are committed to share more about real life, love, the power of positivity, romance, and of course, laughter. We care about helping others find their internal drive and purpose. We celebrate life's challenges and overcoming them. Please rate and review Life Transformation Radio on your favorite podcast platform. On the show, my guests are amazing people who are forces for good in the world around them and live a life of transformation. My guest today, she does just that. Today, Reina Hallab and I discuss how to shift our perspective to connect to the oneness within and transform to become whole and complete. So if you want the power of acceptance, the power of the mind, and the power of the heart so you can live in alignment, this is the show for you. Reina Hallab is empowering public speaker, energy healing catalyst, and healthy, vibrant lifestyle coach. She's passionate, intuitive, caring, and a beautiful, loving being. She's a bundle of energy, enthusiasm, and knowledge, and confidence is to her core. And she has such a thirst for life. Reina, welcome to Life Transformation Radio.
Thank you, Rob. Wow. Thank you for this beautiful introduction and for your wonderful words, and your energy is so vibrant and I can feel it. I'm grateful. Thank you. Absolutely.
So we are recording this live on Clubhouse, and we have a studio audience, and we're feeling their energy. And I love doing these shows on Clubhouse because I can see the beautiful souls in the room, and it just brings that element of live and excitement and in the moment experience.
Yes, absolutely. And I love, I'm so happy to have my dear friends Susan, Nimisha, and Vanda here. And I'm grateful for your presence.
Absolutely. Well, we talk about transformation. So where have you always been in this space? Have you always been intuitive? Have you always been in a more spiritual realm, or did something happen in your life that you transformed into that?
Well, definitely there has been something that really happened in my life that brought me on this path. Maybe at my younger age, I had a bit of more intuition, but when we were young, we don't really listen. So we get to a point in our life where we become more aware and conscious about those that happens around us. And my story started when I was 16. And it was when I was having a brain aneurysm operation. And the acceptance and where the fear stopped from being and only love was present, I felt, oh my God, I just want to live. And this was my shift. And then I only realized it later on in life. It was the main point of my being here today.
Wow. Well, I'm so thrilled that you were able to get through that brain aneurysm. That's very scary. Not everybody makes it through. My 14-year-old daughter had an AVM, so she had a blood vessel burst when she was 14 and suffered 4 strokes and had to have brain surgery. And not a lot of people survive that. So I'm so thrilled that you did. And I'm so glad that you're on this path because just learning a little bit about you, you make the world a better place.
I believe we all do in our own ways and experiences and just presence. And there are different things in our life that shows us the way. And sometimes they're not always a happy place, but sometimes they become the happy place because they were there for a reason. And when we accept, this is where the power of acceptance becomes so precious. And it's just being in an alignment to say, you know what, I'm ready. Life, I'm ready for you. Just throw whatever you want at me, and I'm standing up. I'm fighting. I'm there.
I love it. So how did you shift your perspective? So you're 16 years old. You have an aneurysm. Was it a slow, gradual transformation, or was that just the tipping point, and that's where you're like, wow, I see this?
Well, the story, the way it happened was, at a younger age, you're not fully aware. So when I was admitted to the hospital and knowing that with the symptoms I had, there was, some choices to make and some interpretation to really get ready for it. And with being younger and minor, my parents were not ready to just send me to the operation room like that. So I had to give a consent, knowing that if I don't go through the surgery, I have a 30% chance of passing by the age of 30.
Wow.
Or if I do and things don't go as planned, I either lose a sight or, the hearing, or maybe even paralyzed or whatever sensations. And in that moment, I feel, and I remember that my parents were kind of so worried and crying and like literally devastated. And I was so empowered. I was laughing. Literally, I was laughing with a big smile, and my parents couldn't even understand why and how. And the hearing, I was, the talks were there, were saying, Reina, you can cry, it's okay. And I'm like, why? I'm ready. I'm ready for whatever it's going to happen. And I said, literally, I have seen the world. I have seen you. I've heard you. I've done all the things that I love to do. If the divine that called God is ready to take me, I'm ready. If he wants to take any part of me, I'm ready. I just want to live. So I will undergo the surgery for whatever it takes. And when I did, 9 hours after waking up, I woke up in this ICU full of energy, and I remember the doctor coming in who I didn't know, and I just called him by his name, which was like, wow, how did I know the doctor's name? And I felt like I was waking up from a dream with a big smile. He always told me, you had a really huge, big smile. And then I remember I had those things in my head. And then, it wasn't, a good look, but the smile was just there. And I felt at peace. And then 3 days after, my parents were coming to tell me the good news and the bad news. And then the good news was, I'm out, I'm fine, and things are good, like I'm still functioning. The bad news was that the aneurysm was too big to be clipped, so we had to have an emergency flight. I was in Lebanon at that time, so I had to fly to France so that I can undergo another surgery there. So the first one was an open head surgery. The second was an angio. And this is where the doctor in that morning came to my room and he said, you have 6% chances of passing on my table, and you're gonna, I'm gonna give you the best gift of your life. And I said, of course, it's my birthday, for God's sake. Of course I'm gonna have the best gift. And I'm like, I'm ready. And knowing that within this week, I was in and out of the angio without being fully anesthetized, because I had to feel and sense. And if they tell me like move your finger or move your toe, or just if you sense this, I had to be there. And luckily, I feel that was the energy of love that really held me in such a pure way to give me life, and I felt like I was reborn on my birthday. And the truth about that is, Reina being it my name, Reina, is how I add it. the right written way is Rena, and 10 years down the road, when I googled that name, Reina meant reborn. And I was like, what?
Wow.
And then I was telling the same story for some people in 2015 about that incident. And I was in New York with such a bunch of new people that I just met. And on my way back, leaving to the hotel, they called me back, like, Reina, come back right now. And I'm like, what? They're like, there's a retail store right next door with your name on it. And I'm like, what? It's like Reina, Rena, reborn. And I'm like, oh my goodness, God, thank you for the message.
Wow.
So since then,
I got chills. That was like, whoa. I was like, whoa. I love your story, but I was just like, wow, just really in a good way. Chills in a good way. Like, just like, oh, wow. Okay, continue. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I hear you. I feel you. It's just sometimes we don't know our gift until it's right there in front of us. And we all have that gift. And this is why the empowerment, what I do is in the way I love to serve is by showing the power that we all have and showing that, our names are meant for a reason. Our beings are meant for a reason. Our soul is shining everywhere. And we are truly love if we really tap into it. And that story for me, I held it in my heart because it was my turning point into knowing that I have a purpose, and whatever it is, it might be just simply reminding people there's a truth within. And that truth within is what is going to shine out. And your voice, your truth, your being, and your love is going to be felt. And you know what? I'm not perfect. I'm not different. I believe we're all the same. We're just by tapping into that, that's what's going to really help us transform. And I'm so glad, I'm grateful for every day that I'm born on, because we're born every day. I breathe every day, every second, every moment. And that what brings this love and joy in my heart. And that was the first part of my transformation, per se.
I love it. I love it. So have you healed from that aneurysm? Are you now not, is that's just in the past, or is it something that you deal with on a regular basis?
Honestly, I'm grateful that it's something in the past. It's been almost 24 years now, and I do have MRIs every year for sure, because we always need to see where it's happening. And I'm gonna share with you something maybe not a lot of people know about it, and something I keep it kind of to myself, because 11 years ago I learned, and because of all those angio and x-rays and CAT scans and MRIs and stuff, well, maybe not the MRIs, but because I still have to do that, there's another tumor on the right side. My aneurysm was on the left and the tumor is on the right. And I'm like, God, what do you want from my brain? Why am I, just curious. So,
Wow.
yeah, it's something I'm always just checking up from time to time. And the doctor wants me to do a surgery. And I'm like, hey, doc, I'm not opening my head again. Forget it now. So I'm using other alternative holistic methods to heal it. And if it does, that's going to be my success story. And if it doesn't, you know what? It's okay, because I have this path to live and I accept it. And I'm ready for whatever shows up in my life, honestly speaking. And I'd say, I'm working on myself, and I'm giving myself all the love that I need, and all the comfort, all the, I'm discovering this person, this being. And, we all pass through different experiences, but when you experience ourselves on a higher level, this is when you're like, you like go and you surrender. And by surrendering, you're like, wow, life, show me your magic. So this is where I am.
Yeah.
Waiting for the magic to happen.
Yeah. I talk a lot about the fact that people are always trying to get to the destination and they don't enjoy the journey. And the journey's the best part. That's the juice. That's the icing on the cake. And people are so focused of getting from point A to point B, they don't experience a life of that destination.
Exactly. I was such an ambitious, determined, like goal person, until I realized that, you know what, I might have an insight about what I want or an idea, but do I want to just run right like a rat race just to get there? I'm like, no. And when the science and the magic happens in my life from time to time, I'm like, I don't have I realize that I don't have always control of my life. I have control of my choices. I can ask and just choose what I want, but is it always the way? Maybe, maybe not. And by surrendering, I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm ready for the flow. I'm ready for whatever shows up. And that's how I've been living my life, in a way that, sometimes you say, okay, I want to go do this today, but do I accomplish it? No, because something else comes in, and that something else is even more magical than what was I planning for. So it's kind of a bit, we were kind of taught to do or act or be in a way and think in a way, but then I've realized that sometimes we don't always have to go through that. We can just allow things to happen. And when you have a vibration that's high and where you feel like you're so in peace with yourself, so you bring that an elevation up, you will only attract people with the same mindset and energy. And that's what I try as much as I can to be in it. We're humans at the end of the day, so it doesn't always work. But then when we calm the mind and be in the heart, this is where things transform. And I always try to remind myself to say, Reina, pause. If you're anxious today or excited today, allow the sensation to be in equanimity. Because when you're equanimous with your sensations, you're back to the now.
Yeah.
But when we all always in this excitement, I'm like, yeah, like I've been excited for the past few days. I'm like, I'm exhausted from being excited. Can I just take a breath and be here now? And that's what I try to remind myself. I'm like, excitement is great, but if it's getting me to the point where I feel like I need to, my breath is going faster than it needs to be, I say, okay, Reina, it's okay. Just pause. Take a deep breath. It's fine. You're here. That's all you need. Just be here, present. And present is a gift, so allow it.
Absolutely.
Yep. Absolutely.
So it's funny. So today, I did an Instagram live, and it was so funny because I was feeling very frenetic today. It's my birthday party coming up this weekend, and I'm having an event, and I work out of my house, so there's a lot of activity, a lot of people coming and going, and I just want it to be really special for the few friends that I have coming over. And so I've been decluttering and moving furniture around, and with the help of some friends, and I was feeling a little overwhelmed today because I have this interview with you. I'm going to be on Clubhouse later today, and just a lot of things going on. I did some auditions for a video game today and some other stuff and just a lot of stuff. And so I just said, I'm going to stop and breathe. And it's just right in line with what you were talking about, because I was thinking, this doesn't just feel like me. I think I'm picking up on a lot of people's energy. And so what I did was I got in my theater. I have a theater in my house, and I have this incredible celestial lamp. And I turned on the celestial lamp, and I just put the camera facing that, and then I just talked. And it was exactly what you just said, of take time out to breathe, just take a moment and relax, and take your shoes off and go walk on Mother Earth, go put your feet in some grass and get grounded. And I felt so amazing after that 6-minute break of just breathing and just having a conversation and just sharing my truth for that moment. It was amazing. And I think that people miss those times where they're feeling anxious, and if they just stop and they just get in the very present moment and feel their vibration and feel where they're at, but just be present in the very moment.
Very true. And happy early birthday for you.
Oh, thank you. I'm so excited. So I have a fun question for you. We all have responsibilities. We all have financial responsibilities. We all have bills to pay. We have mortgage and car payments and food and all that stuff, right?
Yes.
Okay. So this is a fun game. So let's play this game real quick. So if I said, Reina, you are free from all financial responsibilities for a year, period. It's all taken care of. Whatever your financial responsibilities are right now, it's all taken care of for a year. What would you do? Not how would you react to that offer, but what would you do during that year, not having to worry about anything in regards to your financial responsibilities? What would you do?
And it's like your question is right in place because what I am trying to do, and I want to share with you an insight. When I work with people, or even if it's not about work, when I'm sitting down with somebody and I feel whatever they're going through, and then through the conversation, just simply the conversation, and it happens a few times, whether it's a conversation, whether we were in some place with some people I didn't know, and someone was afraid of something, or somebody was going through a blockage, I would just go with the energy, and I invite whatever needs to come in to just show up. And somebody, that I helped unconsciously during a conversation, he looked at me and he said, Reina, I think everybody needs that. And I said, I know, yeah, that's what I want to do. He's like, no. You need to find a way to have like money on the side that will cover you so that you can just do this for free. And I'm like, this is exactly what I want. Because how can I put a price on a gift? I can't. How can I have a passive income just to feel like release from that obligations per se to be able to find a way to make money, in a way to just be serving. So the question is, what I will do is I will serve. I will be there. I will plant a seed of love in people's hearts and allow the space for them to nourish love and care. Because the humanity, it only needs love. And it's simply a reminder that there's a soul inside thriving and like just anxious to be living and present. And I just want to remind people about that. And honestly, this is the exact thing I want. I want to find a way to just not worry about what I need to worry for, because I have something else to be doing in this life. And this is why I'm here. And I want to make sure I'm making it as much as I can. So that's my answer for your question.
I love it. One of the things that I know that you are very dialed in on is self-care and self-awareness. And I have this conversation a lot on Life Transformation Radio and other rooms, even on Clubhouse. And people have such a challenge with taking care of themselves and really honoring their bodies and honoring their souls and their spirits. They're just focused on so many other things and other people. So how do you allow yourself to have that self-care and take care of you when you need to recharge and to just be with Reina?
Oh, well, at the beginning, it wasn't something easy, we're all born in a way to think or act, as I was saying before, and think in a specific way and think about what's coming next, the future, always be in the future, project ourselves to, what we need, how we need to be stable, secure, and safe, and all of that. And interestingly enough, I didn't know that I couldn't allow myself at the beginning to love myself. Like when somebody asked me, Reina, can you please say, I love Reina? And I'm like, what? So I tried so many times and I couldn't. I couldn't even utter the word from my mouth. It was such a painful experience to say it.
Wow.
And the reason why is, growing up, you always feel like you need to be there for others, always for others. Just please the others, be there for everybody. And if you take something for you, the word would be egoistic. I'm like, I'm not egoistic. Am I? You know. So by saying, Reina, I love you, I'm like, no, this is not good. Like, how can I say it? And it was really something. Like, it kind of hit me. And at one point in 2011, end of 2011, 12, I started really writing a lot of things that were coming through me about love, about, you know, uncovering the blossom, the flower. Like, I can't even repeat my own quotes because they come through me, and it's not like I have to read them. And one day I was at my hypnotherapist, him and I became really good friends, and I was reading them for him just to show him what I've been writing. And suddenly I started crying. And I'm like, that's when I realized that I was writing them for myself. But then on a higher level, I was actually writing them for the divine, for this soul that's within me, that lives in me. And I'm like, what an awareness. Like, oh my God, I couldn't even believe that that's what it was, because whomever read it, they're like, oh, you have somebody in your life, you're writing to him. And I'm like, no. And it was until I've realized that. But the journey into this was when I was with my mother at my Reiki master, and we both were taking level 3 and 4. And my Reiki master at one point said, Reina, can you please write? And it was in French. J'aime Reina, like, I love Reina. And she noticed that the pen couldn't even write it. And my mom was sitting next to me, and she's like, my mom couldn't even believe that was happening, you know. And then it took some time to dive into this, and I'm so grateful that I was able to shift that and understand that self-love is such an empowering place to be, because if we don't fill our own cup, nobody's gonna fill it for us. We always try to fill it through different things, from buying stuff, from having friends, having a partner, having a family, having a job. But then if one of those started leaving for a reason or another, will my cup always get empty? It's like it cannot be. And so I realized that, no, I have to fill my own cup, so when it's fully filled, I can share from my waters. And I'll take the same example as a tree. Like, I'm a very well grounded tree. And the more I nourish, love, and care and embrace, my tree will grow into blossoming. And from blossoming, it will create so many fruits. And every fruit has so many seeds. So with that, how many seeds can I plant? I can plant so many. So if we don't start from self, you know, where do we start? How can I love somebody if I don't love myself enough? If I'm not aware of my being, how can I be aware of the being in front of me? And that's a really deep question, you know. And Reiki really helped me at the beginning, because when I did level 2, we had a 21 days of detoxing. And this is where I started feeling emotion. I'm like, I was like calling my mom, I'm like, Mom, I feel emotion. I'm crying today. I'm actually feeling something, you know. And at one point in our life, we stop ourselves from allowing these things because we want to show the strength. We want to show that we're courageous, we're able. And then when we touch the emotion that's within, we realize that it's okay to be emotional. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to cry. It's a release. It's a cleanse to cry. It's okay to express fully. It's okay to speak out, because my story is as important as every story out there. By sharing our stories, we can grow together. And I felt these more when I started doing women's circles, and I even done men's circles. And I was like in an awe of what can be really unfolded. And then all those beautiful gifts that we all have, you know, let them be seen. You know, why we don't have to be afraid of those gifts. These are our powers. And just live in your powers, because the world needs it. The world these days do need those powers. So
absolutely,
as I am, you are. And as you are, you're me. So we're the same.
Well, I just discovered Reiki probably a few years ago, and I was like, really, really? And then I've experienced it many times now. I have a lot of friends that are Reiki healers, and it is truly remarkable. So can you just tell me a little bit about what Reiki is and how it impacts your body and your soul and your spirit?
Definitely. Well, when I did my level 1 Reiki, I was 23 years old. I didn't really understand it much. And it was my late aunt who taught me. And she was very spiritual, like deeply spiritual. She was like clairvoyant. And I was always interested in this. Like you're going to laugh now. I always love to watch those movies of, the charmed ones or the witches and like all of this. Like I was so intrigued by these, but I didn't know what, that, we can have healing powers.
Right.
And it was something I was attracted to, and when I was even younger, I always wanted to become a doctor. Like I wanted to heal people. I wanted to serve people. And it was something within me. And when I did the level 1, I did it so quickly. And my late aunt was always asking me, are you using it? Are you using it? I'm like, no, not really. I was kind of focused on my career. You don't want to show that part of you at that young age. So I wasn't really there. And whenever I, intend to give a healing to somebody, just, out of curiosity, they would start mocking me in a way. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I just, let it go. And then thought about continuing that path. But then every job, because I used to live in Lebanon, I moved to Montreal, Canada for studies. And then I moved to Lebanon for a year and then Dubai for a few. And then I came back here. And when I came back to Montreal, I applied for normal jobs and stuff. And I never liked my jobs. But you know what? There was always a reason why I was at those jobs, because being there at my first one here, it introduced me to amazing friends who introduced me to my Reiki master. And I'm like, wow. And when she did the Reiki level 2 on me, I literally felt elevated. A lot of crying and unblocking was really so present. So it was a really great experience for me. And I was really well held in love, and my friends were there, and they've seen the transformation. And when I did the level 3 and 4, it was with my mom. And that brought us so close together. Because I'm the eldest in my family. And I had 2 years and 8 months wonderfully for me. And I was the center of attention. But when my sister was born, and we were born in the war, so you can imagine all of that. My sister was born with like a not an illness per se, but she had like something the esophagus wasn't attached to the stomach. So on day 4, my parents had to undergo under the war from Tripoli to Beirut, which is like an 80 kilometer, to go to the hospital for her surgery and all of that. So I was kind of I'm not going to use the word maybe abandoned, but I was kind of like held at my grandma.
Right.
So that's what happened with me. And my mom was super attentive to my sister because my sister needed that at that time. But at a young age, I didn't know that was supposed to happen this way, because as a child, you'll ask yourself, where are my parents? Why aren't they here for me? And that brought a lot of things in that matter. So when I did the level 3 with my mom, it really brought us together. And her and I, now we work together. And my mom, she has an amazing healing powers. And like, she even did Reiki on my father before being even initiated. Like intuitively, she knows. And I believe I have that from her as well, because intuitively I can feel. I am so present when I work with anybody, and I'm grateful, because if it wasn't for that, my relationship with my mom wouldn't be that strong, and my relationship, with the energy wouldn't be that, strong. So Reiki has really taught me a lot, and I'm really happy. And my Reiki master, she's an amazing, wonderful lady. Like, I'm so grateful for her as well.
Wow. Yeah, you do a lot of stuff. So Reiki healing, also Thai yoga massage, which is really powerful. I've experienced that. It's all about self-care. It's all about really dialing in of really powerful energy with other beautiful souls. And it's a wonderful thing. I'm like, I can feel the vibration in this room. I'm looking at the room in Clubhouse and I'm seeing these beautiful souls just sitting here, and I see their pictures. They're all smiling, but I know they are just elated for you, Reina, and just how you're telling your story and just going, that's my friend. She's so amazing. And I'm just thrilled that you are here. And I'm glad so many of your friends are here with you. That really lights me up. I love to see that.
Oh, I'm so grateful for them, honestly. Like, I'm speaking with you with my eyes closed because I want to be so in tuned. And now that I'm opening my eyes and I'm looking at the beautiful faces, I'm like, wow, I'm so happy and I'm so grateful. That brings a big smile in my heart and on my face.
Well, it says a lot about you and the flame that you are, and that who you attract in your life. You know, we are the people around us is how our life appears. We're a product of the people in our lives. And if you don't like your life the way it is, you may want to reevaluate the people that are in your life. Because if you trust the universe and trust that the right people will follow you and you get to be in their circle and you create a tribe, there's nothing better than having a tribe of people in your life that are there for you and you're there for them. I think it's what makes life just truly exceptional when you have people in your life like that, and that you get to be that for other people. It's just so powerful.
Absolutely. And you've used a really important, interesting word, which is trust. Trust is something that we really need to acquaint ourselves with and understand. Because when you trust, you allow. And when you allow, you attract. And when you attract, you become. And when you become, you evolve with everybody around you. So yes, definitely connecting with beautiful soulful people. I'm so grateful for inviting that to my life.
Well, I'm so grateful that you accepted my invitation to be here on Life Transformation Radio. Reina, you're just this beautiful, incredible human being, a beautiful soul. And I want to say thank you for being here today.
I want to thank you too. You are such a beautiful soul, and as well, Rob, and I'm truly grateful. And, we all have a way to transform our life. And always remember, caring about your mind, your body, and your spirit, it brings to an alignment. And when you are in that alignment, you allow the doors on your path to open. And when the doors open, you'll be amazed with the magic that can come out of them. It's like a gift that needs to be unfolded. Always remember, it always holds pure love, pure faith, and pure abundance. So live in the abundance and let it be your life. This is Reina, and I'm love.
Yes, you are. You can find out more about Reina by visiting her website at rawhealing.ca. Also, she's on Instagram and, of course, on Clubhouse. When you reach out to Reina, please let Reina know that you listen to this episode of Life Transformation Radio. Thank you to everybody in the room here on Clubhouse. And thank you so much for listening and your support and taking the time out of your busy and precious day to listen. We so appreciate it. Thank you for allowing me, along with my very special guest, Reina Hallab, to touch your heart, move your soul, and inspire you to live a life of transformation. I'm Rob Actis. Until next time.
This is Life Transformation Radio. Download complete.